Are you
Sorry.
sneezing?
No, I'm fine. I was going to. All right. Well,
Oh my
cut,
God.
cut. All right. Welcome to the Creation to Cash Flow podcast. On this podcast, we help entrepreneurs and content creators improve your mindset so that you can achieve financial freedom. I'm holding in a sneeze right now. How are you doing, Michelle?
I'm good. It's 2025. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that. That's crazy.
Yeah, wow. It felt different before, and right now I almost feel like you just reminded me of that, even though we talked about it before we pressed record 45 seconds ago. You're right. It's a whole new year. It's pretty crazy. And we're certainly going to talk about that today. But before we do, how was your New Year's Eve?
It was fun. I had a big party here and mostly just actors, actresses, and it was really fun. It was cool to just, I don't know, let my space be a place that people could come and get to know each other and hang out and have a drink and eat some food. And I don't know, I'm just so grateful I have a space to be able to give back and like bless others and create an atmosphere where it's like relaxing and fun for people to come to. Because I've always wanted to do that, but it costs a lot of money. But it was so worth it. How was yours?
Mine was good. I love New Year's Eve. I don't think like the actual like night itself. It's not like the part that I love because I have to stay up past my bedtime. But
Yes.
what I'm most excited about every New Year's Eve is I love all the introspection that comes with it because I will ask all of my friends and family and I will make them fill out worksheets of personal development and make them do their wheel of life. Um, and I just love to know like how everyone's year went and how I can support them in making the next year great. And that's what we're going to talk about today, how you can make this next year great.
I love it. I'm so excited because this is also something people can do anytime throughout the year as well.
It's true. It's true. So let's dive in. I guess first, there's a little bit of looking back that needs to be done. Not in a corny way. None of this really is going to be corny. It's all the practical things that we recommend you do and that I have been doing for a long time because truly a new year brings a chance to change everything about yourself. Like it's very hard to change your habits and the new year, even though everything is technically the same, like I'm the same as I was 48 hours ago, but you get in this very vulnerable mindset where you can change things and where you get to look back and almost like close one door and open a fresh one. So the first thing I always do is take a very serious inventory of everything I accomplished last year. Because usually what floats to the top of your mind is all the shitty stuff that happened. But I like to spend time thinking about all the great stuff. What are some of the great things that happened to you last year, Michelle? Give me three.
We got our dog back from Texas, and so officially our little fur baby came to live with us again in LA because he was gone while my mom, or he was at my mom's while Evan was deployed. Moved into my dream penthouse I've been wanting for as long as I can remember, and just so grateful that that was able to be accomplished because I never thought it would actually happen. And getting back into acting has been a huge thing for me. I started acting classes a year ago and and it's just changed my entire life. Like everything, my perspective, my observations of things and people so I can make a bigger impact, a more positive impact and just get to know people better. It's helped me in all areas of my life. So I'm so grateful for those three big things. What about you?
Those are three really good things, by the way, and that are very much worth celebrating. I am so proud of everything you have done this year, and I can't wait for all the cool things this next year. Because realistically, for anyone who listens to this podcast, you guys watch these things unfold in real time for us. This is our 91st weekly episode. So you guys are following along and you get to see all of the good, the bad. Like I remember last winter, I felt like I was in I almost said a dark place. That would be wrong. but I was in very much like my habits were slipping last winter because I was working so hard on business and building my own business, but also building Brands Meet Creators, the business me and Michelle work together on. And it one of my accomplishments this year was, I don't want to say shutting down my business, but like stepping back from it and just no longer feeling like I had to do two things. That was a massive, massive win for me because I was always juggling so much and I have such better balance now. It was a sacrifice though. I had to do it, had to make it happen. Um, Another one for me was my trip in February to Costa Rica. That was so life changing for me as a person that I am planning another one right now. I want to go spend all of March in Costa Rica. Um, and I'm trying to assemble my same team of amazing people that were down there, like Jose, for example. I really hope Jose will be down there, um, even for a couple days. It was just so transformative for me. I came back and I was like, I'm going to start learning to play guitar. I'm going to start taking Spanish lessons. I'm a surfer now. I'm going to grow my hair out a little bit longer. The goal when I first got back was to just like fully grow my hair out. And then after I think like 4 months, I was like, okay, I need to stop this. But it was just so transformative for me. I feel like I let go of a lot of good things. Um, and my other one, I think my other one would be joining a boat club. I had so much fun this year being a boat owner and being able to fish and take my friends out on the boat, and oh god, that was so fucking awesome. This has been a great year. And that's why I like to do that first. I like to take inventory of the accomplishments first, um, because it just sets a better tone. Michelle, what was something really difficult about this year that you had to deal with?
Um, oh man. Well, Ollie had a $10,000 surgery and having him have to recover, that was just really hard. It was hard to go through. It was hard to see him so vulnerable and he's so heavy I can't pick him up. So it's like that was really hard. Letting go of control of doing everything on my own and delegating and hiring people was the hardest thing I've done in my 5 years of owning a business because I've hired people in the past. I know we've talked about this where somebody was basically like taking all of my affiliate links and putting theirs, and it took a lot of money from me. So my trust issues were very high. So I had to remember like not everybody's like that, and like allow myself the expansion of what I can bring to the world by letting go of control of doing everything myself. So that was really hard, but it was obviously so amazing. I love my team of people and everybody that I've been able to work with. Yeah, and I mean, gosh, there's also some things I'm currently doing that I feel like I'm kind of backtracking in life. So I have to like reframe some of those things that I'm doing and be like, okay, wait, I know what I'm meant to do and I need to go more in that direction. So that's been really hard too because I didn't realize I was getting back into like some old skill sets that I had that are just not helping me grow anymore.
Those are good ones. Those are super good ones. Um, it's interesting to think about when you take inventory. I don't know. I don't know what's coming to mind for me as some of my like big challenges that I had to overcome this year. Um, I mean, my dog died. That like sucks, but that wasn't like a challenge I had to overcome. That's just like that's life, and that's a hard thing to deal with. I think a hard one for me has been the fact that I think I hired 25 people this year, and I have had to grow so much as a person. Like I have had to fully like shed my skin and just grow into like I manage a lot of people and a lot of things now, and that has been challenging for sure. But I'm really proud of how I'm doing with it. I feel like I'm equipped with the right tools
You are.
because I know what podcasts I like to listen to when I need feedback on certain things, and I know whose books I like to read. So I feel like I have the right tools to do it. But boy, it has been expansive.
Yeah, and earlier, Nick, you said you took a step back from your business. I think you didn't take a step back. I think you took a step sideways and forward. And it feels like a step back, but you're so good at being a manager. You're so good at these certain things. I am not. And it's almost like one of those things where it's like you're just thriving. Like you're operating in this skill set that you've been gifted with, and your growth has changed so many people's lives, at least 25 people's lives, but like you're still coaching, you're still doing things, you're still an amazing creator, even though you're not creating in maybe like TikTok videos all the time, but you're still creating with the feedback you give creators. Like you're so good at what you do, and I see you thriving. You're like, I see you on this like just this path and trajectory, and it's just up and up and up. And it's so cool for me to see, because I've been with you since you were a full-time engineer. You know, I've known you for over 2 years now, since 2022. So that's 2.5 years that I've known you. So it's just really cool as your friend and coworker and everything, just to see like this is what Nick is good at and this is what Nick is doing. And it was a lot of faith, but like you're freaking crushing it, my friend. You are crushing it.
That's crazy. You just made me have a very good like introspective moment. You're right. Like you have understood my life since I was a full-time civil engineer. And boy, oh my God, things are so fucking different now. It is crazy. I am such a different person. I mean, I'm not, but like I am. I'm just more of me, I
You're
think.
more
Like
of
I
you.
was
That's the
always
thing.
me. Yeah. Yeah. Very crazy. That's why I love this. Like I love taking inventory, and I hope y'all listening to this don't think that we're just recording this to like, oh, here's the updates. Because the purpose is for you to do this with the people in your life too, right? Like to not just sit down and write it on a piece of paper, but to sit down with someone that really knows you well and create the space to be like, what are the things you're proud of this year? And what are the things that challenged you? Because like Michelle just made me see something I didn't really realize. And like you guys get to pour into each other the way that we do on this podcast. So that is the first thing that we want you guys to do. The next, this sounds so stupid and obvious, yet nearly nine people probably don't. Write down your goals for this next year. And like, please listen to me when I say this. You need to actually write them down with a pen and a piece of paper. You are 42% more likely to achieve them if you do that.
Yeah, write them. Physically write them. And look at them again after you write them.
Yeah, yeah. Don't then throw it in a drawer that you're not going to open for many years. It's just crazy that like who would not want to take 42% better odds that you achieve the things you want to this year? Like, it doesn't make sense to me that every single person on earth is not writing down their goals. I truly cannot comprehend it, Michelle. And it makes me want to rip my hair out a little bit that, like, not everyone is doing this. Like, guys, write down your goals, write them down. You're 42% more likely to achieve them. That is insane. That by literally grabbing a pen and a piece of paper right now, I don't care if you're driving, pull over, but then do it. Hopefully, I know I keep a notebook and a pen in my car. You never know when you're going to have an idea. If not, boom, something new you could do this year. But like, just press pause. I don't care. Come back to this podcast episode. Write down your goals. Michelle, what are some of your goals for this year?
I did not see that coming. Just kidding. Okay, so getting really into surfing. I have a lot of the tools. I need to get a surfboard, but while I'm still taking more lessons, I'll use theirs. So surfing for sure. Get my updated headshots and get an agent out here in Los Angeles for acting and commercials. I am getting back on YouTube. I've already started to create some of that stuff, like horizontal YouTube. I just want to help creators. Like Nick, you know how you're in your element? I am so obsessed, and I could do it every single day for hours upon hours. I love making behind the scenes. I love showing people how to film, how to edit, giving them creative ideas. Like that is my element. And not only like sharing organizational finds, but sharing like how to make this video, make it entertaining. I don't care who watches it. People that don't want to create would find it entertaining. And then also like giving people the knowledge of how amazing Brands Meet Creators is as well. So YouTube is another huge one for me. I really want a G-Wagon. I have to have a goal that's actually like a material, so I like can, I don't know why, it just gives me something to focus on that's less, I feel like that's more easy to do than just like this overall number. I really, when I find a material object and I hyperfixate on it, I can do crazy things that I just can't do on a normal basis. So there's a lot. I don't want to keep rambling, but those are like, I think, some of the biggest ones for me, for sure. Yeah, what about you?
Wait, I want to unpack some of yours first. When I'm in LA, we have to go surfing with Will for
Oh yeah, for
sure.
sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Um, Also, the G Wagon goal, is that in addition to or in exchange for the Tesla?
In addition to, I'll give Evan the Tesla. I love my Tesla. I do not want to get rid of it. 2026, so next year, they should be coming out with an electric G-Wagon. So I might get that. But the thing is I want a G-Wagon. And so I know the number I need is about 150K. So I'm like, I'm going to make an additional 150K. Now, I do that to myself to psych myself in, not out, but like almost like I don't know if at the end I'll buy a G-Wagon with that money, but I'll at least have the money to where it's so weird. I do some weird stuff with my brain. I don't know if this makes sense, but it's like, yes, I want the G-Wagon. I need this amount of money. And so I'm going to work towards that. And then when I get it, if I don't want the G-Wagon anymore, I'll put a down payment on a house or something. But at least like that gives me something to work towards, because otherwise, again, I'm not money motivated at all. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm weird like that. Like that doesn't influence what I do every day. So I think I've always wanted a G-Wagon, and I do want one. I would love to win one or something, but until I can make that happen, I'm gonna work towards one.
I love that. A G Wagon's 150K, really?
I mean, that's like on the cheaper side. Sometimes they're like 200, 230.
Really? I didn't think they were that much. I wonder what I'm thinking of. Maybe the Mercedes that kind of looks similar.
You're probably, well, that is Mercedes. You're probably talking about a Range Rover or
Maybe.
Land Rover. Those are kind of, people think of G-Wagon, and sometimes they don't know, but G-Wagon is Mercedes.
Okay, so I might just be living in a different world.
Probably, but so am I.
Yeah.
I'm on a different freaking planet. Who does that? That is such a weird thing to do, but I do it, and you know what? It works. That's what I did with the Tesla.
No, it does work. I don't think it's as weird as you're saying it is, because honestly, you're not a numbers girl. So for you to be like, "Oh, I need to make this much," it's like that's not even that exciting,
I don't
you
care
know?
about
But
that.
like some people some people shit on like materialistic item goals, but that's a boring way to live. Like sometimes you want stuff. Like stuff can be really exciting sometimes. And there obviously is a side that goes too far, like overconsumption, that's a real thing. And like not seeing the value in like the relationships that you have and the free things life has to offer, but you're not that person at all. So if you want a fucking G-Wagon, then we're going to support you on that goal, and it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when.
Exactly. Thank you, Nick. I love the support.
Yes. All right, I'll answer your question to me now, which was, what are some of my goals? It's kind of hard to answer. Truly, all I have eyes for right now is going to Costa Rica again and just like shedding some skin. Truly, um, I don't have all the pieces together yet, but on Saturday, I think I have 3 different calls to chat with some of my friends from there and see what we could put together, because I'm like right now, like I don't care what it's going to cost me. Like I just need to go there, and I need to sit around a fire and do some plant medicines, and just I don't know, and just meet myself a little bit, because that was what I did last year, and it was so healing. um so it's hard for me to set goals aside from that right now. But another one I have, um, one thing that's really common here that you probably are not familiar with, or maybe this happened in Texas and all the places that you've lived, summer rentals. Is that a big thing near you or anywhere?
Well, I mean, in LA, yes, that people, that's all they do is they escape wherever they live and come here for the summer because it's perfect weather.
Okay. It's pretty perfect in the winter too, though, isn't it?
Yes, it is. But a lot of people like to go to the snow in the winter. And right now, I mean, if you're watching the video, it is January 2nd and the sun is blaring on my face. It's blue skies. It's stunning. So yeah, no, it's perfect in the winter too. A lot of people come here people come here all year long, but especially in the summer, because like, for example, Texas is effing hot. So is New York. People have summer rentals here, and that's where they stay for. It's a 3-month thing. It's like super common. My friends in Dallas are doing it this summer with their newborn that they'll have, and so it's very common.
Okay, interesting. All right, good. I'm glad you're familiar. Obviously, it's not like I didn't think you knew what it was. It was more so just like, are you from a place where they do that? But in New Jersey, they're really common by the beach, of course, because New Jersey has amazing beaches. And I think I want to do a summer rental, even though I live 12 minutes from the beach. I want to walk out my front door and be on the sand every day this summer. And so I've kind of set my sights on that as well. So those are two of my goals, and it's hard to set some of the others because that's like all I have eyes for right now. I also want to build our business, and yeah, do we say it?
I mean, we've teased it a while. Should we wait to say it?
I think we could at least start to tease it because I released this information publicly on our webinar. I also, my biggest one, I want to complete our journal. Me and Michelle have been working on a journal for creators and entrepreneurs, and we've been putting so much love and effort into it, guys. Like, truly, everything we have learned, not just over the last 91 weeks of doing this podcast and like what you guys have gotten the most value from, but on top of that, just everything else that, like, all of the tools that we have picked up on our own journeys, from leaving our full-time jobs, becoming full-time creators, building big businesses. Like, we have really accomplished a lot. And honestly, there's just a lot of shadow work and mental improvement involved. So we've been working on a journal for many months now. We still got a couple more months to put into it, to be honest, because we're perfectionists and we would never put out anything that is not like absolutely going to change everyone's life. But that's my other big goal for this year.
Same.
Yeah, we are so excited for when that day comes. So that any of our listeners who are looking for something more actionable than just listening to this podcast and truly want to make the mental changes and become that next level person, we're going to give you the exact tools to do it, because it's the same tools we used to do it.
Yeah, and are still using, like yesterday, today. I mean, my 6-minute diary that I do every single day, I've been doing it, and especially in the new year, I'm like, this is something I will do every single day. And I'm excited to have something that's even more specific for creators and entrepreneurs, which we will be putting out so soon. I'm so excited. This is something that really, I think, is going to help so many people.
I know it will. I can't wait. All right, next big thing. We've got a couple really, but I want everyone to, this one seems like the next logical one. I want everyone to think about the goals that you set, right? Hopefully you just wrote them down. I will remind you again, why would you not take 42% better odds? Write them down. And then you have to identify the obstacles that are in your way so that you can start to figure out how you're going to get around them. Because, for example, Michelle will use your G-Wagon as an example. What are some of the obstacles that you are going to face on the road to buying a G-Wagon?
Well, the thing with the G-Wagon is it's much more money, right? It's all about, I just need the money. Like other things like surfing and that is way more like, there's obstacles that are mentally keeping me from doing it. The G-Wagon one, the only obstacle is the money. So therefore, I just need to find ways to get the money, which is easy for us as entrepreneurs because we can figure out ways to get things, monetize things, obviously with ethical, like I will just make more content, for example, or I don't know, like my obstacle is money. Like that one's the most simple one, I think, out of all my goals.
Let's do the surfing one then. You're right. That was really good reasoning. Let's do the surfing one.
Yeah, so obstacles. Me being a pansy when it comes to cold water. I freaking hate cold water. It's so cold right now. My husband bought me a wetsuit as one of my I think it was one of my birthday presents. So I have the wetsuit, I have the roof racks for a surfboard. I need to get a surfboard, but also I need to get lessons. I need more lessons for this like Pacific Ocean situation because it's so different than Florida water. But honestly, it's me, I'm holding myself back. So there's also no specific reason why, it's not like I'm trying to go to a competition or like, anything, but I genuinely love surfing so much. It is so freeing, and I know cold water is so good for us. Nick always talks about ice baths or cold showers or whatever, just cold water on you. So I know it's really good for me, but I think it's my comfort zone of I hate being cold. And plus I have that disease where my hands and my feet don't get good circulation. So like my feet and my hands turn purple or just completely white. And so that's very hard whenever you're getting in a cold ass ocean, right? So those are my biggest things. And also just like the humbleness of constantly getting just face planting into the freaking seawater. I also don't want to step on a stingray. I also don't want to see a shark. Like there's like little fears that are just so stupid because in retrospect, like if it happens, cool. But like I want to surf and I think it overpowers all those things. But I have to make the decision to let it overpower. Otherwise it's so easy to just stay like, oh, I want to surf, but you don't do anything about it.
That was a really good job listing those obstacles. I bet it felt good even just saying out loud some of the obstacles. Like that alone, they probably lost a little bit of their power over you. And now you can start to really think about like, how do I get over those fears? And like, for example, like the cold ocean one, here's what I used to always tell people to do who were like, I don't want to say too soft. No, I will say too soft because this is the reason. If you weren't mentally tough enough to do a cold shower and you used to work with me, here is the solution I would give you. I would have you do a contrast shower. Like after you've like cleaned yourself and like done all your actual important things in the shower, you turn the water to really cold for 20 seconds and then to hot for 10 seconds and then really cold for 20 seconds and then really hot for 10 seconds. And you just start to get your body used to cold water. So like, for example, Michelle just outlined all of the obstacles she's going to expect, and then you can start to reverse engineer solutions. And we just came up with one. But if you don't write down your goals and then write down the obstacles, you're not going to be prepared for the obstacle. If Michelle just goes and surfs and the water's freezing and she face plants one time, she can be like, not that you would quit, but it's going to be a lot more disheartening than if you prepared for that by doing some contrast showers and getting used to cold water. You know, that's how you achieve your big goals this year, you know, and this is what everyone needs to be doing.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh my, it's so important to do all these things, guys. Find a friend and do this with them. Say things out loud too. That's just so, like you were right. They lost their power. They're a little bit of the power because I don't even think I was thinking those things. Guys, Nick did not tell me what he was going to be asking me today. Like these are things that I'm coming up with out of the blue. Obviously I did write my goals down, but I didn't write my obstacles down. And I need to do that. That's really important.
Yeah, for each goal of yours. Like I know my obstacles that I'm going to face in order to spend March in Costa Rica, which is why on Saturday I'm talking to all my Costa Rican friends to see who's going to be around, who can facilitate these things, who like I'm getting the plans in place. And you made a really good point at the end there, which is find someone to do this with. If you are listening to this podcast right now and you do not feel like you have someone in your life to have this conversation with, we'll do it with you. You can go to creationtocashflow.com, leave us a 90-second voice memo, tell us what your goals are for this year. Maybe you need help figuring out what those obstacles are, or maybe you outlined the obstacles, but you don't know how you're going to get around them. No matter which part you need help with, I want you guys to share it with us if you don't have someone else to share it with, because truly, like, doing this exercise with Michelle right now, like it actually does make a huge difference versus if you try and do it by yourself. You're not going to have someone to bounce the ideas off of. You're not going to have someone to help see the solutions you might not be seeing. And most importantly, now you have someone to hold you accountable, because I need to
Yes.
make sure Michelle can surf and can get a G-Wagon this year. Like I need to make sure of that. I have to hold her accountable in the same way that we both have to hold each other accountable to finish our journal for you guys and to make sure that I go to Costa Rica and all the other things, all the other exciting things, and that I end up doing a summer rental someplace that's going to make me happy and help me live my best life. So I guess I'll summarize the action steps before we get to the next one. So far, guys, you got to take inventory of your accomplishments from this year. You have to write down, I recommend writing those down too, actually. Take inventory of the challenges from this year. Write down your goals. Write down the obstacles that you're planning to face. And then the next one, did you have your vision board party yet?
No.
Okay. Well, you got the right idea, let me tell you. The next one is to make a vision board.
Oh, well, I've already done that, but my party hasn't.
Right,
Yes.
right. But that is the next one for all of you guys to think about. You need to make a vision board, because when you have these goals written down, unless you're going to tape that piece of paper someplace and actually read it every morning, you're going to just forget your goals. And you'll remember again in a couple weeks or whatever when someone asks. But if you just create a vision board and put all of these images together somewhere and look at it, you're not going to forget your goals. Like, this is why writing them down makes you 42% more likely to achieve them. I need to see the studies on how much more likely you are to achieve them if you have a vision board. I actually think that might be worth looking up. But Michelle, talk about this a little bit.
Well, for me personally, I can get distracted with like shiny objects, right? Like we've talked about the shiny object syndrome and how like something looks more interesting. And so I have a tendency to almost like pivot too soon. But when I have a vision board, not only am I therefore believing in myself that this is possible and that it will happen, but every day when I see it, I'm reminded of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if I'm planning on doing something that doesn't align with getting me there, or if something doesn't currently align with getting me there, then I know I need to say no to that, because it's not going to get me where I want to go. So it's almost like a daily inventory of, what did I do today? What am I going to do today? What can I say no to today because it's not getting me to anywhere on my vision boards thing. But it's also just, it's so affirming in you. Like you're already showing yourself what you want and that it's possible. So it's like a mindset thing as well.
It's very much a mindset thing. Interestingly enough, there is not any statistical data on how much more likely you are to achieve your goals with a vision board, but 91% of successful entrepreneurs, I'm wondering what they use to define the successful criteria. Also, I feel like I have a little bit of a lisp today because I bit my tongue so fucking hard this
I
morning.
did that 2 days ago and it was the worst.
I feel like I have a lisp right now.
You don't.
I hope it doesn't sound that way. But it said 91% of successful entrepreneurs rely on visualization strategies. That alone is super promising data. I feel like we need to host a clinical study now on vision boards and how useful they are, because it doesn't exist. But if we know that 91% of successful entrepreneurs rely on visualization, and that you're 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down, I think it's pretty clear that a vision board is an instant way to massively increase your chances of making this your best year ever. So I hope that our listeners will pull through on this. Make your vision board and tag us. You can tag me at Get Ahead with Nick. You could tag Michelle at Michelle JH. That's Michelle with 2 L's, 4 E's, JH. Tag us and let us see. I will repost it. I will hold you accountable. I will support you. Whatever y'all end up creating, like, we do this podcast for you guys. We have never run an ad. We have never asked y'all for money. All we ever ask is for you to do things that are going to help you live a better life. So I hope that we get a good amount of submissions from you guys on creationtocashflow.com. I want you guys to tell us, what are your goals? What are the obstacles? And let us help you achieve them. And I want to see your vision boards, because I want every single person who has been listening to this podcast and has listened to 36 minutes of this episode, I want you guys truly to make this your best year yet, so that when we're on episode 143 and we're reviewing how all of this went and we're taking inventory of the last year, I'm going to want you guys to submit your success stories and tell us, like, everything that you did that you set out to do.
Yeah. Yes.
Are there any other Strategies, Michelle? I mean, I think we could think of 100, but are there any other really important ones that are coming to mind for you in this like very vulnerable mindset that we're all in, given that it's January 2nd when we're recording this?
I think it's important to also write down like your habits. What are your current habits and what do you need to continue doing and pressing into, and what do you need to let go of? Now, for me personally, I'm the kind of person where I need a deadline. So if I'm going to stop doing something that I know isn't aligning with me right now, I need a deadline. I need like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this for 30 days or like 60 days or 7 days. You know, it could be a 7-day fast from Netflix or something. I don't know. But in 2017, I believe it was, whenever it was a January 2017, it was a 21-day fast from Netflix and like TV, and it turned into like years because I just didn't want to do it anymore. I was like, what am I doing? It changed me that much in 21 days that I was like, I'm going to continue. And then I just continued for a long time. So it's also like, do you need to do a 21-day fast from TV or from video games or from junk food, from soft drinks? Like, what is it? Set your habits, set a deadline, a timeline for how long you're just going to put it down. And then write down the ones that are good as well that you're currently doing. Because I think some of us underestimate how many things we're doing in our lives that are really making a good difference in our everyday and in our future goals.
I hope y'all see how good that Michelle is at these things, because I I prepare for these episodes and I come up with the outlines and I just ask her stuff on the spot. Like I'm like, Michelle, how do you think someone could fix this? And she's just like lightning fast, amazing answer. So I hope you guys know that I have to prepare beforehand. It's like interviewing a politician where like I have all the answers already but you don't. So that's a really, really good one. Write down all the things that you do, all your habits. Like, what time do you wake up every day? Are you proud of that? Because everyone seems to complain that they don't have enough time in the day. But, like, what if you just wake up earlier? And yeah, that means going to bed earlier, but no one does anything that useful at night. Like, some people are like, I'm a night owl and this is my exception. Okay, if that's the case, then fine. Wonderful. Whatever it takes for you. But most people get much more productive work done in the morning than late at night because of the different states that your brain is in early in the morning. And if you've read the 5 a.m. Club, you will get a really good understanding of that and why all of the world's most successful people, like at the highest level, they wake up early. They wake up very early, typically, like 4, 5, 6 in the morning latest. I don't think I know any like really successful people that sleep until like 9.
Yeah, I don't know anyone.
I sleep until 9 sometimes, like if there's a valid reason, but for the most part, I get up at 7:30 latest every day. Like this morning I woke up at my alarm was for 7:15. Um I didn't get up out of bed until 7:30, and then I laid on the floor, rolled out my yoga mat, put on my headphones. I did Jose's morning breath work, and then I just laid there for like 40 minutes, and then I went to the gym and I was like, this is how you have an awesome day. Like this is the exact recipe to having a fantastic day. And my habits were not always like that. I had to take inventory of all my shitty habits that I used to have and be like, okay, why do I keep hitting the snooze button? Oh, it's because I can reach my phone from my bed. Therefore, what is the habit I have to change? I have to move my phone charger away from my bed. Boom. It just killed the trigger. Therefore, that habit has no control over me anymore. Y'all, if you are entering this year and you've been listening to this podcast for a while and you have not moved your phone charger away from your bed yet, I don't want to hear any excuses as to why this is not the best year ever, because it won't be. But if you do that, you already are winning.
Yep. And there's other little things too. I know I've talked about this, but my journal, for example, when I make the bed in the morning, I put it on my pillow. So at night, because I do it in the morning and at night, it's like 2 parts. At night, when I go to get in bed, I see it, and it's like I can't help but do it. If I was to put it on my nightstand or something, I would forget. I wouldn't prioritize it, but when I go to grab it, it works. And now for my phone, I've talked about this too. I take ADHD medication every morning, so if an alarm goes off, I take my medicine and I like fall back asleep because I'm whatever that word is,
Haphazardly?
What is it?
Haphazardly?
That one. I'm not fully haphazardly taking the medication, but I'm not awake and I fall back asleep and then I naturally wake up. So like I do have my phone right there because I am mentally unable to move. I feel like it's this weird thing with my medicine, but whatever. But anyway, my journal's on top of my phone. So when I turn the alarm off, it's like right there. So when I wake up and I'm finally awake, I see the journal and I grab that first every single time. And it's so satisfying too. Like it's so rewarding to grab that first and get my thoughts out on a piece of paper. So even if you have to cover your phone with the journal or with something else so you don't grab it, that's another thing you can do too.
I sometimes leave my yoga mat out right next to my bed so I can like if I know I'm going to be sluggish in the morning so that I can literally just like actually roll out of bed onto it and just like slump over. And then I'll turn on a breath work or I'll meditate or something so I could start to energize myself. Because a lot of people are waking up and they feel sluggish. And it's like, we didn't do anything yet to energize you. You know, you got to do those things first and then you'll feel good waking up early. Like, you don't just wake up at 6 when your alarm goes off and like leap out of bed. Like,
Evan does.
I love that for Evan.
So does my mom. I'm like, I am not built that way.
I'm not built that way. That's for sure. I gotta once I'm up and I'm moving and I've done something good for myself, I'm wide awake. But like I gotta do something first.
Yeah, I know. That's like most people, right? And so that's why the journal is very helpful because it's mentally waking me up. Like I'm mentally doing something without putting anything in my head that is external, which I think is so powerful. And then like the bed thing, making the bed is the thing that always, because I'm still sluggish most of the morning, even after my medicine, but making the bed always gets me up and I'm like, okay, I did one thing. And it's that momentum I need to therefore go do everything else for the rest of the day.
That's a perfect routine. And I think that's probably the perfect place to end. I'll summarize all of this for you guys again. I hope I don't miss anything. Again, there's a lot of other things, but we're trying to give you guys some of the basic tools that will give you the best chances to make this your best year and start it off right. So, first, take inventory of all the things you accomplished this year, and then some of the things that were really challenging or you're not proud of. Next, write down your goals. After that, write down the obstacles that are going to get in your way so you can start to figure out solutions. Write down those solutions. Next, make a vision board. And then the last one, take an audit of your bad habits and your good habits. Or you could just write down everything you do in a day. That's how a lot of people go about that task. Because when you write it all down and you see everything you did in a day, you will likely find that it's a little embarrassing at how much time that you waste or lost to meaningless tasks or things you could outsource, right? Like maybe you spent 20 minutes doing dishes and it's like, you could have put them in the dishwasher, you know, like you will find so many things where you're just like, oh, that wasn't that good, but I wouldn't have noticed if I didn't write it all down. So clearly our theme is to write more things down, spend more time journaling, spend more time getting in touch with what you want to achieve and what's going to get in the way. And this is going to be your best year yet. And if you are looking for more ways to monetize your creativity and find more freedom in your life, make sure you're subscribed to us. Make sure you're getting involved. We have a creation to cash flow social media where we post a lot of these clips. So make sure you follow that so you get those extra reminders and continue to download the information we're giving you guys. And make sure that you submit voice memos and get episodes created just for you. And, you know, take part in these things because they're free. Everything you want in life and to help you get there, it already exists. And we're trying to give you guys as much as we can. So if you're subscribed, if you're getting involved on social media, if you're going on the Creation to Cash Flow website, you'll never miss any of the important updates. So we love you guys and thanks for listening.